Hi all. Right, welcome back to more Labyrinth. And I'm titling this Labyrinth Awakening Arab Spring Solo. This will be part two. So it's a bit of a mouthful really. But it's the main scenario, the Awakening. I'm just playing the one deck, which is how it's meant to be played, although you can play with more, but I figured going through one deck of this, as we've already done quite a bit anyway, should be fine. And then if I want to carry on, I can move on and do one deck of the Forever War one, which I'm quite keen on. Hopefully, want to do unless I get burnt out here, because I have played quite a bit of this now. Okay, not enough a lot to talk about because I haven't released part one of this. Now I just took the bold step and decided to release part 40 of my previous playthrough, and part 41 was just, well, actually I didn't realise I hadn't even released part 39, so I've done that earlier. Released part 40, which was maybe a bit, yeah, I was a bit reluctant because I was a bit grumpy and a bit ranty and whatever, and yeah, maybe didn't take the comments on board the way I should have done, and good fun and whatever. But anyway, I've already said I apologise if I happen to offend anyone. I don't think I maybe did any of that, but I might have done. You never know. Anyway, and then part 41 was just half an hour of me still struggling away trying to see if I could rescue the game, and I just felt like it was just going nowhere, so I decided to take the bold step and start a new one, and this is where we are. So this is part two of this. I haven't watched back part one or released that yet. I will get around to it. But it seemed to start really well, and I felt good about it. I felt like I was able to look at my events and play some events, which I've not really been able to do for quite some time if you'd watched the previous playthrough. Right, okay, so that's about all I really need to say, because let's say there's not been any comments on this. Haven't watched it back, so there's always risks. Have you done everything properly? Have you made any mistakes? I was a bit quick, I think, in moving through it, but the first few moves seemed to be okay. I think we played 2 events, didn't we? And the bot failed at a jihad attempt in Pakistan, and also 2 cells got removed and wasn't able to leave a cadre, so that's quite nice. And then I think he added a couple of cells into Afghanistan, where we then put an aid. Yeah, one of the events didn't quite go to plan, did it? Because we never got our War of Ideas roll through the event done. Anyway, okay, right, let's move on. Will be their turn, won't it, Grant? Last card I can see up there is UN Nation Building. Yeah, did I read the event for that? Is that what I left things? I feel I've got something in my mind that says I wasn't sure if I read the event. Oh, I'll just leave it for now. I've not got my tablet handy, although I know what's going to happen now. I'm going to flip this first card. It's going to be a playable event, and then I'm going to have to go and get it. But okay, let's go. So let me just double check. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards, so I think they should have the same. They've got 6 as well, because we all started with 8, so they played 2 cards, we played 2 cards. Right, let's go. Okay. Right, I've seen this card before, but some of them are slightly worded differently due to the expansion or whatever. But okay, so there's the 3 ops jihadist card, jihadist videos. Select 3 countries without cells, test them, recruit once in each, ignoring funding. Place cadre in each country that does not receive a cell. Yeah, this is pretty horrible. I want to say that the first cell goes in the United States as well, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure we're going to find that out. So, okay, 1 in each, ignoring funding. Yeah, I mean, they've got loads of cells on the track anyway. There's no need to worry about the funding. Place cadre in each country that does not receive a cell. Yeah, that's the thing. In fact, I got this wrong, I think, the first time I played it, because it is a recruit in each country. And that's why it says you place a cadre in each country that does not receive a cell. Because I think the first one is going to target the United States. I might be wrong now. But they need to recruit, so they need to roll dice. Yeah, no, I think it is. Because I think that's where I made my mistake, and I just placed it in the US. So 189. Have we got something? Yeah, we do, yeah. And yeah, this is for the Awakening one, because there is one. There's a jihadist videos in the base game as well. Yeah, it's exactly the same wording actually. Just went and double checked there. So 189 jihadist videos. So US then use recruit and travel to priorities, but never Islamist rule. Okay. So it specifically says recruit and travel to priorities. No, it doesn't mention the word table. Yeah, so we do go to the flowchart first. That's right. That's one of the things that brought up some doubt, but I think we're all straight on that now. I think, hopefully. Okay, so it is a playable event. So let's get the event looked at. Okay, so 189 jihadist videos. The web has endured as a proven method of recruitment for jihadists. Oftentimes, these embryonic cells / cadres stay in their home country, where later events might spur them to action. That's referencing another event. Actually, is that not? Yeah, that's card 82. Well, so I'm not going to go and read that. From the base game. Card 82. Is it? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's different text to what it was originally. That would be in the playbook, right? But I mean, I've went through all the events previously. I mean, I suppose if you didn't watch any of that, you wouldn't have read it. Yeah, it's a bit different, but yeah, I'm only going to read the event that's here, and I think that's fine. I think. So we're going to select 3 countries without cells. Test them, recruit once in each, ignoring funding, place cadre in each country that does not receive a cell. Right, and then like I've said, the instructions here, that's the wrong side, Grant, 189, says the US first. So the US is going to be one of them, and then we use the recruit and travel to priorities for the other 2, but never look at Islamist rule. So, yeah, let me just, well, actually, let's knock that out. Really need that bit. Let's just say there's the first one's going to be there. So that's the first target. So we need 2 more. Looking at recruit and travel to priorities. Okay, so recruit and travel to, is there a poor Muslim or 1 to 4 more cells and troops and militia where jihad success possible? Don't think so. Yeah, I mean, there's 4 cells. Hang on. Is it not a country without cells, Grant? Yeah, sorry. It's countries without cells. Right. So, so this one doesn't apply. This actually would apply if there was no cells in the country, I think, because it's recruit and it's auto-recruit. The only auto-recruit country we've got is Afghanistan, and it's got cells in it. So that's fine. A good Muslim country, there's no good Muslim countries. A fair Muslim country with best jihad DRM. Right, that's found the result then, isn't it? Yeah. So just checking there. It's got to have no cells, so that doesn't apply. We can score that out. The only auto-recruit country has cells, so we can score that out. There's no good Muslim, or we would be on 1 point. So there's no good Muslim. However, there's 3. No, there's... Actually, there is 3. Have I forgot to move my... Yeah. I think this is something that's easily forgotten about. I don't think it's a big deal. I've probably done it a couple of times in the previous playthrough. As long as you're not getting close to a win condition. Yeah, it was because we brought Morocco into the game and it tested fair. So you can see we've got Morocco fair, Gulf States fair and Pakistan fair. So our fair good countries should actually be on 3. Well, we're looking at... probably better putting that one down below. Our poor Islamist rule countries are at 3 as well. So is that right? We've got Afghanistan poor, Iraq poor, Algeria, Tunisia poor, no Islamist rule. Okay, so that's right. So we're both on 3. Okay, so as I think we stopped fair moves on the best jihad DRM. Now, right, hold on with that one though, because that now actually applies, doesn't it? What I mean is the second part of that, the best jihad DRM, because this is a fair Muslim with no, and let's look at best jihad DRM then. So it references it down here. It says that this applies only to Awakening and Forever War. That's expansion symbols. So the DRM is the net dial modifiers. So 11.1.3. And I know, I mean, I've been through this previously, but not starting this playthrough. So 11.1.3, is that right? Yeah, is here. Yeah, notice when I was looking at, when I look at the rulebook, sometimes the light's not great, is it? And it's dark just now, so yeah. I mean, I could do it. It's just there's no space to lay it down, and it's more work laying it down rather than bringing it up here and whatever. So it says each awakening marker adds 1 and each reaction marker subtracts 1 to any war of ideas, jihad or major jihad die rolls in that country. These modifiers do not affect plots or other operations in any way. An equal number of awakening and reaction markers cancels out their respective modifiers, but the markers remain unless adjusted by other events or conditions. It's possible that one side will have so many of these markers in a country that success in a given operation is automatic or impossible. So that's why it's, I mean, okay, quick look at the example. If Pakistan had 2 awakening and 1 reaction markers, the net effect is that the US player would have a +1 in all War of Ideas rolls, and the jihadists would have a +1, not a -1, on all jihad rolls, because the US has got 2 to their 1, makes it a +1 net modifier for both sides. Yeah. Okay, so and then yeah, so it's just highlighting the fact that's what that best die roll modifier means. So if we look at Pakistan, we're just looking for reaction awaken markers. There's none there, but you will see that there's 1 in Morocco. So if we were to do a jihad roll in any of the 3 countries right now, we would have a +1, sorry, the jihadist player would have a +1 to there, and remember that's bad for them. We'd have a 0 there and a 0 there. So it's not gonna, that's ruled out Morocco for this then. That's the first time I've got to this point, but I think that's right. So basically, there is fair Muslim countries. Yeah, but I think we've still got to build in this best jihad DRM right now. So I mean, normally, previously, a fair Muslim country would be this or this, and then we'd start looking down the priorities table. But I think we can rule out this because it's 1 best jihad DRM, which is only the 2. We still need to break it down between the 2. So then we come to the table. Not Islamist rule. Well, remember, it's not wanting that anyway. The event doesn't want that. Is that not right? No, it was an event in the instruction table. Well, I think it said it was Islamist rule last, didn't it? We've no Islamist rule anyway, so that's fine. Right, Pakistan and West no Arsenal. Well, there we go. We've got our winner, haven't we? So Pakistan is the target here for this next one. Now, if let's just say that Pakistan had that awakening marker in it. then I don't think that would have been selected right now, because we would have been looking between the Gulf states and Morocco, because it had the +1 awakening marker in it. Pretty sure that's right. Okay, so Pakistan's going to be the second of the 3 targets, and then isn't it just straightforward that Gulf states is going to be the third then, Grant? Because, I mean, going back to find the third, we go here, 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 and then we stop here. And we look, there's 2 fair Muslim countries. This has got a +1, this is not. So we rule this one out. We don't need to go down the priorities table, and that's going to be the third target. Gulf states. Okay. Yeah, the priorities table actually says, but never Islamist rule. So US, then use the recruiting travel priorities. We've done that. Looking back at the event, select 3 countries without cells, test them. Right, so we've got our 3 targets. We don't test the US as soft anyway at the moment. It's always set at something. And both Pakistan and Gulf states have been tested already. They're fair. So we don't need to do that. So we're going to recruit once in each. And it does say recruit, so that is an operation. That is something that we do need to roll for, unless they were auto-recruit countries, which they are not. Ignore funding, and then if we fail in each of these, whoever one doesn't receive a cell gets a cadre, basically. Yeah. So, yeah, and just coming to sort of confirm that. There's a recruit, place cells, any countries with cells or cadres. Well, this is an event that's placing them. But it does say the word recruit, so we do have to follow this, and we have to roll less than the right. That's not what we're doing. We're rolling less than or equal to the governance, so the country, and we'd place 1 available sleeper cell there, and removing the cadres if it were there. Right. Okay. So let's start with the US one. So you can see it's good. It's good 1 US. So we need to roll a 1. Just 1 die roll, and they need to roll a 1. So let's do that for the US. Kind of hoping this doesn't come up. Right, so that's a 5. So that fails. Well, let's just do the other 2 while we're here, right? So no, I better just do it right now. While I'm remembering, right? I'll just stretch up there. So it failed in there. However, remember it said that we would place a cadre if there's no cell placed. So that's that one done. And then the next 2 I'll just do together. So we'll do Pakistan first. It needs a roll of 1 or a 2 because it's country's fair. And then Gulf states on a roll of 1 or 2. So Pakistan first. Now that fails. And then Gulf states. Well, that's a 3. It's a bit at an angle, but it's alright. That was fine. So they both failed. So good. I mean, they do have cadres, mind you, whereas Pakistan, I was all pretty pleased the fact that because it was a failed jihad attempt, they didn't leave a cadre there before. Now they do have the cadres, so they can attempt to recruit in there now, and also in the Gulf states. Well, that could have been a lot worse. I mean, it's quite low rolls, so the odds are in our favour that they're only going to receive a cadre, but yeah, still pretty bad. So we've done that. Select 3 countries without cells. Yeah. Test them, didn't need to do that. Recruit once in each. We attempted to recruit in each. Place and they failed in each, so place a cadre in each country that does not receive a cell. Okay. Right, that's the first card play. They played it for event, but it's a jihadist card, so no reserves or anything like that. On we go. Okay. Right. I've seen this card quite recently. So Paris attacks. A 2 ops jihadist card. Yeah, well, we do have the UK and France hard, so yeah, this should be playable as well. I'll just check the events. 182. Right, there's nothing for that. There is a touch of errata, which is quite important in this card that we found out just recently. That between the U's and the highest, there should be the word next. So it should say use next highest number playable result. So it might sound like that missing of that word doesn't really make that much of a difference, but it's strange how just missing a word does. Maybe that doesn't make sense actually. Maybe it's quite clear that it would make a big difference. Anyway, it did. It's confusing without the word next, because you sort of think you're using the highest, not the next highest. But anyway, okay, grand. Moving on. Paris attacks, right? So we're going to roll a tan of black die and place the following in that result if hard, and then if unplayable, use the next highest numbered playable result. Cells are placed active side up. Right, the other thing that caught me out with this, and I had to go back and make a comment on it, was that, don't know if this is clear to yourself or not, but just say you rolled tan, well, let's say one that we've got. United Kingdom's hard. So let's say we rolled a 3 on the tan dice and a 6 on the black dice. What would you do there? I initially would say, right, I'm going to put a pot in the United Kingdom. I'm going to put one random pot in the United Kingdom. But if you look at this one at the top, it clearly states that 1 and 2 pot. So if it wanted 2 or 3 pots, it would show us, say, put 3 pots. But you can see it's got 1 and 2, which obviously means that it's wanting a number 1 pot and a number 2 pot. I don't know. Maybe some of you would be quite clear on the fact that that's a number 1 pot. But I got caught out with it. The result I got before was a 5, and I thought that was 1 random pot and 1 cell. But looking at it now, it seems clearer when you look at this one, and maybe the first 3 sort of. Yeah, I think the first 3 sort of make it like 3 pot. It's not saying 3 pots there, so that sort of says that it's 3 pots. That it's a 3 pot. Sorry. Whereas if you're looking at the bottom one or the 5th or the 6th one, to be honest, you could sort of think, right, that's 1 pot in a cell or 1 pot. Maybe it's just me, as I say a lot, and it's probably true a lot, but anyway. Okay, let's have a look at Paris attacks. Right, 182 Paris attacks. Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, the organisation credited with the attack on the Charlie Hebdo satirical press in Paris, as the remnants of Osama bin Laden's original network. The event card shows their desire to influence not only the governments of the Arabian Peninsula, but also the Islamic populations of Europe. Subsequent to the creation of this card on 7th of January 2015, it was later expanded to include the ISIL-inspired 13th of November 2015 attacks in Paris, the 2nd of December 2015 attack in San Bernardino, California, the 22nd of March 2016 attacks in Brussels, as well as as other locals that could have been targets. The randomness of the event depicts that jihadist planners in the Middle East oft-times have little direct control on the type, size, timing, or location of the inspired attacks in the West. So yeah, this is clearly, as I've just read that out, this is a playable jihadist event. So Paris attacks, Charlie Hebdo's satirical press attacked, roll a tan and black die and place the following in that result if hard. If unplayable, use next highest and playable result. Cells are placed active side up. Right, let's roll a tan and black dice first then. Right, so tan and black. Here we go. Right, we've got a tan 3 and a black 4. So let me come across here. Oops. Right, so tan 3. Oh, it is going to be the United Kingdom, which, as you can see, is hard. So that's going to be the set in result, I think. And 4 is going to be so a number 2 plot. It's not 2 plots. Surely it would say plots. And like I say, that's what I mean by the first 4 are quite clear, but I rolled the 5 that last time and got thrown by the fact. I think I've explained myself. Right, so we're going to look at the United Kingdom, and then if it's hard, well, it is. There's no cells placed. It's going to be a number 2 plot. Yeah, I mean, it has to mean a number 2 plot, because it would say 2 plots, wouldn't it? Yeah, I mean, I left comments about this before and talked about it before as well, so nobody's came in and said anything different. And I left the comments, so nobody even commented on that, because I realised that I think it should have been, because I just placed a random plot in a cell for number 5, and I commented later. I think the random plot turned out to be a 2, and it didn't make any difference, so it was fine. But we had WMD plots at that time, and it could have been one of them, which might have caused more trouble. Okay, so we're going to put a number 2 plot in the United Kingdom. Right, we start with 6 random plots. I had a look, there's 3 1s, 2 2s, and a 3. I think there is. Something like that. So I'm going to just take this one at the end, and if we get lucky and if it's one of the 2s, I'll not need to mix the rest, but if it is, then I'll just need to look through and find a 2, okay? That's a 1, right? Okay, so we're looking for a 2. 1, 3, 1. Should have started the other end. Yeah, both 2s are here, obviously. Right, okay, so we'll get a 2, and these will get shuffled back up again. I'll give them a wee shuffle. And when I randomly select one of these anyway, I roll a dice anyway, so let me put them back. Okay, so got 5 back on the track, and this number 2 is going to go in the United Kingdom. I mean, it should go that way up. I mean, I know it's a level 2 plot, so okay, so, and if I want to do anything about that, it's going to cost me a 3 ops operation to do an alert to remove it. So it's probably worthwhile looking at seeing what the outcome's going to be of this, because I do have, there's no troops there, so anyway, right, we'll look at that in a minute. That's that done, isn't it? So it was 3 United Kingdom, 4 a number 2 plot. Yeah, and there was no cells. Okay. Right, that's our 2 cards played. Both played for event, but you can see they're just getting discarded, so that's fine. Right, now it's over to me. So let's have a look about this plot and see if I really want to stop it from happening first. So unblocked plots. It's in the UK, so it's a non-Muslim country. So in a non-Muslim country other than the US, we would add the number to funding, which is relevant. Stop. Yeah, there's more to this actually. Add twice the plots number if the country is at good, or set to 9 if it's WMD. Well, we know it's not a WMD. We do know it's a 2, and 2 times 2 is 4, because the United Kingdom's at good. And you can see that 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going to max out their funding again. So it's quite possible we don't want that to happen. I mean, while I found in the previous playthrough that the limited times that the marker went down to moderate, it means that they don't prioritise recruiting. Is that right? No, not necessarily, Grant. It steers them towards a possible plot operation rather than recruiting, doesn't it? As in, it comes to here and asks the question, is funding moderate? I mean, when funding is not moderate, you go here, and then if you've got cells available, you recruit them. If you've not, you travel with them. But when funding is moderate, it goes to here and contemplates plotting if it can plot where there's active cells and troops. However, to be honest, if that's not the case and the cells available, it recruits. If there's not cells available, it looks at this and might travel, or it might plot. So there's differences, yeah. There is differences, but... Okay, so... well, yeah, that kind of looks like we do want to stop that just based on that first bullet, eh? But I mean, there's two other bullets to consider. So the next bullet, the next thing that happens is we'd roll posture for the United Kingdom. Now, United Kingdom's hard. So this is kind of the good bit about it. Because we are in a situation where we've got a global war of terror relations penalty of -2. Because there's 3 countries hard to 1 soft. However, if we roll posture in the United Kingdom, there's a higher chance. Remember, it's a 1 to 4 roll that'll go soft. And if that went from hard to soft, this would go from that to that. And then we would remove that penalty. So there's a thing. So there's one bad bit and then one good bit. And then, I think that's only 2 things that apply, isn't it? When it's a non-Muslim country. The other one is just clarifying that the only chance of prestige getting dropped with a plot going off in a non-Muslim country is if this event's in play and it's only in the Philippines. But we don't need to look at that. That event is not in play anyway. And I maybe didn't finish that bit, did I? Roll posture. If WMD and it's a 2-player game, the jihadists may reroll once. Well, we're playing a 1-player game, so if it's a WMD, we don't get to reroll. Okay. Why am I struggling to understand that? I don't know. And then if it was Schengen, the jihadist selects 2 other Schengen countries and rolls their posture. Well, United Kingdom isn't a Schengen country. Schengen countries are sort of darker blue, there's 7 of them. Scandinavia, Benelux, Germany, Eastern Europe, Italy, France and Spain. So that wouldn't happen. So what do we take from that then? We're getting a chance to remove the global war terror relations penalty. I mean, that's a die roll, don't get me wrong. But they're guaranteed to get their funding back to 9. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that works out to be something we should just ignore, just let the plot go off. Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I suppose it might come down to, if you're not sure, if you're not totally bothered about it, I don't know. I mean, them having their funding in moderate, I'm just not really that sure how bad it is for them, I mean, if it goes down to tight, that changes their play as well. Funded tight, then they might recruit, might plot. I don't know. Honestly, my experience with the game, I mean, I've played the game a few years ago a couple of times when we first got it, obviously. The base game, and I played the Awakening, I think, when I got it. And I've never played with the Forever War cards yet, so that's why I'm keen to get them involved. But in all my play back then, which I can't really recall much about, but the recent playthroughs that I've done, and I've done quite a bit, I still don't feel like I'm any further forward on knowing if allowing them to get back to 9 funding right now is really a really bad thing for me. And I feel kind of silly about saying that because I feel like I should know if that's really bad or if it's like, yeah, whatever. I mean, I know if right now, if all these 5 cells get deployed, they can only, not deployed, recruited. They can only recruit cells that are below and to the left of wherever the funding marker is. So right now they can only recruit in the moderate box and the tight box. They can't recruit these 5 cells in the ample box. Pretty sure that's right, isn't it? Let's make sure you do know what you're talking about, right? Yeah, what I said there was correct. So there's that. So it means right now it can't access the 5 cells that are in the ample box while it's there. So yeah, you would think that means that if you allow it to go back into the ample box, that's pretty strong for them. Okay. A lot of events will come along, even the event that we've just seen. The fact that it not even have the words ignore funding on it. Or was that something else? Yeah, ignoring funding, yeah. So that event that we just came across, the jihadist videos, let's just say that all these cells were away, it would still have looked at these cells in ample, even though that they couldn't recruit at all. They would still take, we didn't get any cells, we only got cadres, but it could potentially still recruit them. Because although it was a recruit, it says you were to ignore the funding part of it. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it seems, thinking about it that way, the fact that we are restricting them or not allowing them to get these 5 cells via a recruit operation anyway. But what about our cards then? Let's just say, remember it's a 3 ops card to remove that. I feel like I probably should still be trying to remove it. So if I do that, I don't think we wanted to play this, did we? Pretty sure we didn't. Place 1 reaction mark in Egypt and up to 2 more reaction markers in any countries including Egypt. No thank you. I'm realising that these awakening reaction markers are really strong. I didn't actually realise how good they were. So I don't want to play that. And my other 3 ops card is that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I could put 3 ops together to do an alert, but that means that's all I'm doing this phase. So what is this? Player Syria already tested. It's not. Player Syria into civil war. Place either 2 militia or 2 cells there. And then one other type. Obviously we'd be putting 2 militia there. Alright, maybe let you read the card better. Place 1 aid marker in Turkey, which is nice as well. And then the card's removed. But Civil War, I'm still not sure about that. Civil War gives them an auto-recruit country. It also creates an attrition step in the end phase, which means they battle away against each other, really. So I suppose we could alert with that. Okay, what about the other 3? And I mean, I'm looking along here. I seem to recall this wasn't terrible for us, was it? Is this the one that goes and lets us bring a card back? It does, isn't it? So I'm sort of better waiting until nearer the end of the turn and there's a bit of a discard pile, because this was just the first turn of the game. So there's not much of a discard pile for me to go and find a card. This does only, I mean, it doesn't seem brutal. It's going to take 3 of our troops out. I mean, it does look like they might be out for a bit. We've no WMD plots in play yet. Congress Acts, we might get lucky and draw that. And the other option for to bring them back is if they've got a three resource country under Islamist rule, which I'd rather they didn't have. So it might be that these 3 troops are sort of out of the game for a good bit. But like I've said, you generally only get to avoid one of you can discard 1 card at the end, not 2. So I can't get rid of both of these. This is play if you're soft, but I'd always start reassessing. I'd actually rather this came back, and in fact, one of my operations would like to probably target like the UK or France and roll and it's do a war of ideas there and posture roll to bring that back to 0. But not spend 2-3 ops cards to go hard. I've not any reason to go hard either. Not at the moment anyway. And I hope I don't throughout the game. Because that's what, like, I don't know, I just felt like I always needed to look at, I'll need to go back to hard so I can do a regime change again, and yeah. But the fact that plot's going to possibly allow us to change United Kingdom's posture, it might be better if I'm doing that by myself, and it would only be a 1-ops card to roll its posture. So in actual fact, I could use this card to remove the plot. And I actually want to say this was quite good though, was it not? Place 1 awaken on 1 reaction marker in any country which already has opposite kind of a mark. Oh no, that's not. It'd be a sort of good card to maybe use though if once they do come up with a reaction marker, wouldn't it? But right now it's not really playable for us. So I could use this to remove the plot, and then for my second card, play this to roll posture and well, either United Kingdom or France. You know. What was the card then? Was it this one? Yeah, this one's good, isn't it? Civil resistance. Place 1 awakened marker in a Sunni country, and then roll to place another via the random Shia mixed country table. If not placeable there, roll again. You know what? See, both of the countries where I've got awakening markers, they're Sunni, aren't they? They're Sunni. Yeah, they are. So I could place another awakening marker in Morocco, and then we'd roll to place 1 in a random Shia mixed country, which is the opposite. Which would be fine as well. And then we've got 2 awakening markers here and here, just waiting for the end of the turn to then become 3 awakening markers. That seems really good. That seems really good. I mean, we've got other options where we could put it. You know, you've got Libya, Egypt, Sudan, Somalia, Jordan. None of the ones that are got cells or anything like that, because they're all Shia mix, aren't they? Like Afghanistan, Gulf States, Iraq, Syria even. But we might get lucky with, assuming you want one of them in there, we've got to roll in the random Shia mixed country table. So we might get lucky and place one of them on one of the countries. Right, what is our last card here then? Ayman al-Zawahiri. If you just play -1 funding, well, their funding might be back at 9 in a minute if we choose to do different things. +1 prestige, we're sitting at 5. +2 of Osama bin Laden removed. Right, hang on here. How do we know if Osama bin Laden's been removed? Well, it'd be in the removed pile. Is this taken from... Because there is a... Mind you, we were to ignore the... What is that? There's one important rule in the bot side of things. I'm not sure this comes into it anyway, because I think there's an Osama bin Laden card in the base game, but there's also one in the Awakening game, and I think that's why it talks. Let's talk about that bit first then. Hang on, it's back at the beginning, isn't it? It's the beginning of the rules here, I think. Right, hang on, I find out what I'm talking about. Actually, I'm getting a little confused here with what I'm talking about. Is we've been playing the campaign game before. It was actually an extended campaign game, but this is from Awakening Rules. The Forever War has an extended campaign. We use one deck of each, and that's when it talks about personality cards such as Bin Laden, Osama bin Laden. It says that card is Osama bin Laden. See, they make an appearance in both decks. So it says, if the card is removed by US, it may appear again in its second instance and is assumed to be a rising new leader of comparable ability and focus. That's just so that you can carry on playing the game. Just assume it's somebody else. But is this not where it talks about the new normal? Yeah, that's it. Marked events continue from one deck to the next, so ignore the new normal rule. So we're not playing this campaign, Grant. So what is the new normal rule then? 11.3.5. So see here, the new normal rule says none of the card events from the base game of Labyrinth, Global War, and Terror are in play at the start of the scenarios for Labyrinth Awakening. For example, although the Patriot Act has historically been passed enhancing travel restrictions to the United States, events such as these have become the new normal, giving the jihadists time to counter them. I'm not sure I fully understand that, to be honest. But I guess what I'm wondering here about is I think all I can do is I'm pretty sure this Osama bin Laden card must be in the Awakening cards. And if it was removed, we would get +2 to our prestige rather than +1. I think that seems quite clear, Grant. I don't know why you're... Yeah, okay. Right then, so what are you going to do? Well, I could play this and remove the pot, and I could do this because it seems really good. And then next turn, because as long as I'm not trying to roll War of Ideas, and that is War of Ideas in a Muslim country, because this Global War and Terror Relations penalty only applies to War of Ideas roll in a Muslim country. So, which I eventually sort of worked out. Maybe it wasn't that difficult to work out, but it's only applies to this one. The modifiers only apply to this one, whereas they don't to this one. Which I still have a little bit of a gripe about that. I think maybe that should have been clearer, but yeah. I'm not going to say what I normally say. So there would be a -2 in a Global War. It does say their effect on Muslim country, you know. This is only for when we're going for Muslim countries. So, and although we could be doing some of that, I don't think there's an urgency for it. Was there anything else concerning at the moment? I mean, they put 2 more cells in here, but we still got 6 troops. We got an aid marker in there. There's probably disrupt operation in there to try and maybe get the cells. Thing is, we're going to have to turn them active first, but we do gain prestige with that. But this is a 3 ops card we need, so I think I'm going to stop the pot I don't know. I'm not quite sure how others would look at that. But that's what I'm going to do, I think. And I'm going to do it with that card because, yeah, I'm not sure I want to put Syria into Civil War anyway. The thing is, it needs to be tested first anyway. This might not be far away, but it might be that I end up with this card in my hand at the end of the turn and Syria's still not being tested, and I'm like, what do I do? So I'm going to play this for 3 ops. Yeah, I mean, I could use the 3 ops for other things, like the disrupt in Afghanistan, like I've just said, but let's stop them getting that, their funding back up, and if anybody wants to comment on what they think about that move, then feel free. So we're going to do an alert. So the purpose is to block, which is remove a plot. The target is any country with a plot. Special, it says use 3 ops. Well, I've just used 3 ops. So select and reveal 1 plot marker. If WMD, remove from game. If not, we put it in the available plots box. Now, hold on here. Right, there's an amendment to that rule. Now, the fact we're blocking it, does that still change that rule? Or is it only when they get resolved? Actually, yeah, maybe it might just be when they're resolved that changes. And what I'm saying here, it says put them back to available, which means it would go back in here, randomised, right? There's a box up here for resolved plots, and in the base game, that box wasn't used for it. It was just used for right now. We're in card 1, aren't we, of our turn? And once we play card 2, the next thing that you do is you move that along and you resolve any plots that have been left that have not been removed. But in the Awakening game, that is then where you put the plots that have resolved, and they don't come back here until the end of the turn. And it's a new step in the end of turn sequence. You can see return plots to available. But I'm just thinking we're going to block a plot here. So is that different? Wait till I find that then. Yeah, no, it's still the same even if we reveal it. So here's 11.3.2, and like I say, this is different from the base rules, but we're playing with Awakening rules. So it says plots. The jihadist player is limited to placing each plot marker once per turn. Once a non-WMD plot is revealed, either by alert, which is what we're doing, event, or being resolved, place it in the resolved plots box where it is unavailable until the end of turn sequence. When all 6 plots become available again, WMD plots are removed from play after use by the player-specific events or after being alerted. Right, so that means that this plot's going to go up in here, and it won't come back in here until the that end of turn step. Okay, that's fine though. So moving back to our alert operation then. Was there any more to say about that? No, that was the last bit we read. And like I say, that's why this has been changed. And yeah, I got pointed out, Tim mentioned to me that, I highlighted the fact that these haven't been changed. These are the base game play rates. And we've now had 2 expansions, but yeah, it could have been, it would have been maybe nice if they had upgraded these player aids. Maybe a bit more, a bit too much, but then obviously this would now say something slightly different. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Right, so we remove that, and basically we just remove that. We know it's a number 2, because, yeah, it had to be. Well, hopefully I'm putting that right. So that goes up there in the resolve plots box, and like I say, in the base game, it would just come right down here and get shuffled, but now it's going to sit there until the end of turn step. Okay. Right, so I think for my second card play, and probably the last part of this video, is going to play this for the event, because it looks really nice. And yeah, and the fact that I've noticed that we we can put one in Morocco as well. Just seems, I mean, okay, I could spread the love and put it somewhere else, but I've already highlighted, I think, the strength of having more than one marker, because then just build, if you've got two, it's going to become three, and then do other things. So having two markers in a country is just really strong, I think. So I'm going to play this for the event. Okay, 134, card 134, civil resistance. One of the many techniques used by demonstrators to gain the attention of their governments, and duplicated elsewhere by the Occupy Wall Street movement and the more recent Hong Kong student-led democracy movement. These occupations of key locations showed the strength of the movement and provided a backdrop for audiovisual-based propaganda effort. Okay, so playing for the event, civil resistance, street protests spread. It's a US card, obviously, so that's all good. So place one awakening marker in a Sunni country. Right, well, let's do that first. Now, Sunni countries are the white, these ones, and that's where I'm putting that, just to show you. It's got shows you on the map there, the Sunni ones, and then the Shia mix, and non-Muslim. So I'm going to put the first one in here. I feel like that's strong. Yeah, I do. Just getting them to 2 seems like really, really strong. So, again, I don't know. I'm certainly no expert, so maybe not. Place one American marker in a Sunni country. That was my choice. And then roll to place another via the random Shia mix country table, 9.5. 9.5? Okay, yeah, that's... 9.5 is the old... 9.5 is the old bot rules, isn't it? Is that a misprint? I mean, why would it? Right, let's find 9.5. Anyway, what does it say after that? If not placeable there, then we roll again. Right, so let's check for 9.5 first. Because that's in the first... It's rule 9 that starts this jihadist... Oh, it's not. You're talking rubbish, Grant. It's 11. Is it 11? No, I'm right. Jihadist activity is 1 player. So 9.5 in the rules is random country. I think that must be some kind. Oh, you know what? I came across my frequently asked questions on my Rata stuff, and I laid it out, and I've still left it down the stairs. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing about a random Shia mix country table. Well, 9.5, it might just be talking about it, no? Yeah, there's talk there, if there are 6 or fewer options and neither Schengen nor Shia mix is specified. Right, let's... Player Aid's probably a better look on the newer one. Has that got a table on it? Let's zoom out and have a look. Ah, right, okay. It's there. I don't know why it's highlighting 9. I mean, 9.5. Right, okay, you know what? I didn't really study it. Maybe it talks about it in 9.5. But I mean, we're playing with a different bot here. All the rules in 9 shouldn't really be looked at, but they do seem to be looked at on occasion. And I guess this must be one of them, okay? Let's leave it at that. So we're going to roll DR3, so that's... we're going to roll 3 dice here, aren't we? I'm still feeling the need to read 9.5 a bit more, so give me a second. Okay, I think at the end of this is 9.5 on the next page. And that says, if Shia mix is specified, sum together a roll of 3 dice on the Shia mix table. So, in actual fact, there should be a sheer mix table and the base game player aids then. Hang on, let's see, is it in here? No. No, but I've not got the base. Then why are you bothering, Grant? I don't know. I feel the need to try and find it, I suppose. This could be it here. No, that's Awaken. These are all Awakening stuff, so I don't know. I just, well, that's a different version of the flowchart. There must be somewhere that. There must be a table in the base game for that. It's not. I thought it might have been in these player aids, but I'm not seeing that. Oh, hang on. Here it's here. This is the old bought player aid flowcharts, and there it's there. So you can see it's you sum 3 dice. To be honest, it looks like it's changed a bit. So we're going to go with the new stuff anyway. But it's sort of strange that it references 9.5, I think. That feels a bit off, but... Anyway, right, so we're going to roll 3 dice and get a result on this. So, yeah, DR3, right. Okay, so let's come and do that. Right, 3 dice. So these are the 3 black ones, I suppose. Okay, what have we got? Right, total them up, 13. I'll just keep us there in case we need to roll again. So 13 as Pakistan. Okay, that's good, isn't it? I think that's pretty good. 13 Pakistan. Yeah. Now, hold on. No, there's not a problem. It does say that if not placeable there. And the reason it might not be placeable is if it was Islamist rule or good, I want to say. Does it talk about placing markers here? No, it doesn't really, does it? Yeah, I mean, you can't place awakening reaction markers in Islamist rule or good countries. Is there other restrictions? Needs to be a Muslim country. If it was unmarked, you test the country. There's no restriction to the number of them. That's it. That's it. I think Jean actually highlighted this rule to me at some point. I kept reading all this, and this was more important. Regardless of how a card event is worded, this rule supersedes 6.2.2. Awakening reaction markers may not be placed in a non-Muslim country or a country in civil war, a country with good governance, a country with Islamist rule. However, it's highlighting there that they may be placed in a regime change country. Right, our random Shia mixed country turned out to be Pakistan. There's not an issue with that. A cadre does not prevent me placing an awakening marker. So we're getting awakening marker in Pakistan. That's good as well, because remember we already looked at when it was comparing fair countries, and I looked across here because the DRM, best jihad DRM. So that now means that if we were looking at between Pakistan and Gulf states here, it's going to look at the Gulf states rather than Pakistan. I think. Anyway, yeah, okay. Right, that's that. I think that's probably going to wrap this part up. This is just over an hour. But it's one awakening marker in a Sunni country. I chose Morocco. There was no restriction to that. It's now got 2 on it. Then roll to place an R via random Shia mixed country. We rolled Pakistan. No restriction there. We placed it. If not placeable there, roll again. That's fine. These 2 cards were played. This was played for Ops. So it's not removed. This was played for Event. And it's just discarded as well. Okay, again, it seemed like another good turn. Okay, we had to remove that plot. I mean, I'd rather have used the 3 ops, probably to do a disrupt in Afghanistan or something else. But, however, we've kept our funding down and moderate. Again, hopefully that was worthy. We do still have our penalty here, but I've got that Friday of Anger card, which at the moment isn't really. I mean, don't get me wrong. I might consider if their next play was to place a reaction marker somewhere, then this becomes far more a stronger card for us. So, yeah, we've got 4 cards left, and remember 2 of them. We're going to probably have to play this at some point. I guess the more cards that go in the discard pile, I mean, we could get back. Well, you know what? Let's not look right now. But there's a pile. There's at least a few more cards now in the discard pile. But they're only cards that have been played this turn. So, but did I study the US cards that maybe the jihadist player has drawn? I don't think I did. So there might be something good in there. And we only lose 3 troops. It should be temporarily. I mean, it might be more permanent than you think, though, Grant. But okay, an hour and 6 minutes. Let's call that apart. And yeah, I'm not sure. I'll be back when I can. Cheers.